Hey, happy Wednesday. I am Carmen. I am a myofunctional therapist. I also teach myofunctional therapy. I help dentists implement myofunctional therapy into their practice. So this is what I do on Wednesdays right now, and I love it. I'm here to educate you guys. So my new blog came out this morning, and it was called Considerations When Choosing a Frenectomy Provider. And so I started this topic that I'm going to continue here in this Facebook Live. And it's really questions that you should be asking when you're choosing somebody. So this person needs to be a good match for you. They need to be somebody that you know, like, and trust, and that you have a connection with. So in the blog, I talked really about the first question, which was to ask the doctor if they have experience with adults. So what happens a lot with my clients is they contact somebody who may have worked on their infant, or they get referred to somebody that generally works on infants. And a lot of the doctors will say, well, I just work on babies, but you can't be too different. You're just a big baby, right? And so to me, that's important that my clients find somebody who actually has worked on adults. So that's important. So I already talked about that in my blog. So now I'm going to talk about 4 more questions that I want you to be asking your provider, okay? So that first one is going to be, does the doctor understand and encourage myofunctional therapy? Even better yet, mandate myofunctional therapy. And I know that's not popular. I know I get a lot of people and I get a lot of pushback when I work with providers that won't even schedule you unless you have already been working with a myofunctional therapist. But it really is the best for you. So a lot of people don't like being told that they have to do something. But frankly, I don't think it's any different than somebody trying to get new knees and the doctor says you have to lose 50 pounds. You got to do it. So sometimes I feel like we need to trust those providers. It doesn't happen often enough. So in my humble opinion. So anyhow, so let's talk about that. If you are trying to consider who should do your frenectomy, and you ask this doctor if he understands myofunctional therapy, and he looks at you like you have 3 eyeballs, then there's probably a concern, because really kind of the correlation that I have made with all of my clients and in my time in practice is that those doctors who don't understand myofunctional therapy don't understand myofunctional impairment, and generally that equals not a thorough release, not an adequate release. So that's really important. Generally, now, don't bet the farm on this, but if a doctor understands myofunctional therapy, if they recommend it and they talk with you about it, this is a good comforting feeling, and that means that they probably are in the know a little bit better than somebody who really has no idea. The next question I want you asking your provider or the person that you're interviewing to do this procedure for you is, so what do they say about wound care? Again, having somebody look at you like you've got 3 eyeballs, this is another thing. If they screw up in this area, it's a concern. I tell my clients all the time, we can't screw up the healing process. And it's not my responsibility to tell you how to take care of it. I do because I feel like it's important for my clients, but it's not my scope of practice. I only know because I have watched so many, and also because my own sweet granddaughter has gone through it. But it's the doctor's wound. It's his thing to tell you about the healing in the wound care. But really, this is just a great screening tool, because if you ask about that and they look at you like no idea, then it's not going to be good. Okay, so that's a really important question. And actually, on that same note, I just wanted to look here. Coming up in April, one of these Facebook Lives is going to be about healing and recovery expectations. So that will be coming up, it looks like, on April 10th. I'll be talking about that here. So, okay, so the next question, how many do they do? So this again is, I kind of compare it to like being a dental hygienist. There are certain things that I learned in dental hygiene school that I haven't done in a bazillion years, because you learned how to do it, but it wasn't something really going on in daily practice in the real world. The same thing happens with a dentist and a frenectomy, or maybe even an ENT or a periodontist. These people aren't doing these all the time, or they may not be. So if you ask them how many you're doing, you're going to, get a gut feeling. You're going to get a great answer, especially because if you catch the doctor off guard with that question, you can probably tell just by their reaction. So one of the things that I talked about in my my letter that went out today to my subscribers, I've been in this situation as a hygienist where I had somebody that was not a client of mine, but they were a hygiene patient of mine, and I worked for a boss who says, well, yeah, I can do your frenectomy. I have a laser. Well, I had been in that office for quite some time and had never seen the laser. And it was what I call a dinosaur. So it was super duper old. And the dentist, I'm pretty certain, had never done a frenectomy since he had been in dental school. So this girl paid $600, and he gave her what amounted to was a paper cut. And so I feel like I get bigger wounds from envelopes, frankly. So the important thing is it's not necessarily about the size of the wound, but there really is a difference. So he didn't do a good job. She didn't ask any questions. She spent $600, and then years later, months later, she was wanting to do it the right way and actually get some relief. So that's another great question. How many are they doing? And if you're an adult and you're thinking about having the procedure done, how many are they doing on adults? Or the other way around, if you're having it done for a kiddo. I think it is easier finding a provider for a young kid rather than for an adult. Okay, and then last, what I would say is ask about their method and why they do that. There's not a right or wrong answer for this, because some use the laser, some use the scalpel. It's more about the knowledge of the provider than the tool. But the reason I tell you to do this is because I want you to find out what they know. If you ask them these probing questions, you're going to get an answer that's going to either make you feel happy or make you feel like, I need to look for somebody else. Remember, you can find other people. You don't have to go to your childhood dentist. And finding the right person is sometimes harder than finding somebody like me to work with. As far as myofunctional therapy. So that's a tall order right there. Okay, so that wraps up the questions. So really the 5 questions, the one that I went over on my blog today was asking about, their experience with adults. Then it was, does the doctor understand or encourage myofunctional therapy? What do they say about wound care and active wound management? How many do they do? How many frenectomies do they do? And then what is their method and why? Like, why do they do it the way they do it? Okay, so that wraps that up. So really, next let's talk about actually a couple different things that I want to talk about first. So here you can see, and this is on our Facebook group, that we're in the spring, we're going to give some extra loving to our kiddos. I really find that the springtime and then going into the summer, I really get busy with kiddos in the Myo Mastery Program because parents are thinking about the summer and having frenectomies done. So kids are the same as adults. You got to start a month ahead. And if your child is a strong-willed child, then, or maybe has behavioral issues, then we want to start that a little bit more, like maybe 6 weeks. So if you go to the Facebook page, you can find that there's 20% off the mini Myo program. I think I might have just said Myo Mastery Program, which is my teaching program. Mini Myo program is the program for younger kids. So this is the one that we're doing 20% off. And a lot of parents are doing the quick assessment tool. So if you go to the bottom of any one of my blogs, you can sign up to download this. And when you download it, it is going to give you the adult version or the child version. Take it. It's a short, 20 questions. Find out if there's concerns. For a parent, this is super helpful because they just think their kids, we just love our kids as they are. So we don't like to pick them apart. But this goes for adults too. So the assessment tool is very, very wonderful. So get that, use it, contact me if you have concerns and you want to move forward. Or find somebody else. It doesn't have to be me. I just want you to get the help that you need if you answer yes to a bunch of those questions, okay? Next week, we are going to be talking about Frenectomy 101, your timing roadmap. So again, that ideal time frame. Last, before I let you guys go, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. I hope your weather is as lovely as it is here in sunny Colorado. I love it. I will see you next time. We have the Tongue Tie and Myofunctional Therapy support group that you can join. You can follow us on YouTube. We're small and mighty and we're growing, but I'm here anytime you guys ever need me. Reach out to me. You know where to find me. That is it, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.